By the way, your listeners might be interested and even chilled to know that recently the Scottish government was planning to introduce a hate crime law, which would have criminalized speech in the privacy of your own home.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. It's shocking. You can imagine the effect that would have. I mean, you'd be kind of like going dumb language to people. So you'd have plausible deniability about anything that somebody might allege you had said. It would be awful. The cramping effect here on speech would be horrendous.
Yeah, so that's interesting. If getting into your idea about the effective ownership, then, if that's the case and the law goes through, would you say that the government is the effective owner of your home then?
What would you say?
I mean, probably I would. And then, but that's where I would like to make a distinction between effective ownership and legitimate ownership. Yeah. And do you make that distinction at all?
Well, I mean, even now, if you think about it, suppose you buy a house, right? And you pay the price to the owner, and you're getting on with your neighbors, you're not bothering them, and so on. And then somebody comes along and says, well, in order to live here, you're going to have to pay us, I don't know, $4,000 a year. And you go, hello, I don't remember having a contract with you. How does that work? And they say, oh, well, we are the properly constituted government of this area, and we provide all of these services, and therefore you have to pay to contribute. And they go, well, hang on a second. There are lots of people who provide me with services, but that's normally the result of my contracting with them. So, for example, the local grocery store doesn't come along and dump a bunch of groceries on my doorstep, whether I like them or not, and then send me a bill at the end of the year, right? I go down and I buy the groceries from them and they sell them to me and we get on just fine. What you're saying is we're providing you with service. And I think, well, yes, the services are good. I mean, insofar as they go, they probably could be better and probably cheaper, but nonetheless, I'd like to be able to buy them from somebody and contract for them. And I don't quite see how it is that you've muscled in on this particular deal. It looks as if, in fact, you're charging me $4,000 a year rent for my home. But you can only charge me rent for my home if I'm renting it from you, if in fact it's yours. They begin to see what's happening here, right? So in our present environment, the private property regime as we have is seriously compromised, because what you can do in your property, when you can do it, to whom and in what circumstances, and whether or not you have to pay for the privilege of doing so, whether by paying taxes or getting licenses or whatever it might be, those are all an infringement of your property rights. So that while you thought you were lord of all you surveyed in your house and it was yours, in a way, you're actually engaged in a bipartisan arrangement to share this property with somebody else, and not as a result of some decision that you made that you thought was a good one. It's like somebody else is kind of muscled in